Hello world. This is Asad Newman, from /F, and you are welcome to the Python programming on Android, with Pydroid 3 series. Now, this video is going to serve as the pilot video for the series. So, let's jump straight into looking at what this video is going to be about, shall we? In this video, we will talk about why you should learn to program, get to know what Python programming is, how you can program on Android, and talk about this series. Whether you want to uncover the secrets of the universe, or you just want to pursue a career in the 21st century, basic computer programming is an essential skill to learn. Without a programmer, a computer in itself is dumb. Computers are generally programmed to do specific tasks, either repeatedly or wait on the user. If a computer is not programmed to do something, it won't, and can't do it if you ask it to. Steve Jobs once said, "Everybody in this country should learn how to program a computer, because it teaches you how to think." Programmers solve real-world problems. Behind every great or complex software, is a programmer telling it what to do. Every software you use today is able to do what it does because a programmer, or group of programmers told the computer exactly what to do based on the kind of input it receives from you. So, if you want to be able to make a computer do anything, as long as it has the ability to do it, then you should learn how to program it first. You should also learn to program because it develops your problem-solving skills. Because it creates new career opportunities for you. And if you just want to be able to do the things that most people can't do, or know the things most people don't know, then learn to program. It will make you feel like Superman. Most people think you need to know a lot of math to learn programming. Programmers write code, not mathematical formulas. That's not to say you don't need math to program, you need to know some basic algebra. That's about all you need to know now if you don't want to go into the math-related fields of programming. You don't also need to be a genius to learn how to program. Programming is an art, treat it as you would any other. You don't have to go to the university to learn how to program. Seriously. This is the 21st century, the computer age. Thanks to the internet, you can find a great deal of resources online. Watch videos on YouTube, read and download books from the internet, listen to podcasts anywhere and anytime, all you need is an internet connection. And if you want to figure something out, just Google it. Google is your friend if you are learning to program, and even if you are a professional programmer. You can even have your questions answered in real time on Stack Overflow and Stack Exchange. The most essential tools you need in order to learn how to be a programmer are passion, persistence, effort, and time. I like to refer to them as the pipette. And just so you know, all these can be found inside you, you just have to do it. You should stumble on this if you are a bit into computing and tech stuff, but if you haven't, there's no need to worry. That's what this video is for anyway. Before getting our hands wet with Python, let's look at what programming is and what a programming language is all about. Programming is basically the act of giving the computer a set of instructions for it to perform. This set of instructions is what we call a program. A programmer could write a program to make a mathematical computation, modify a series of text, go through a bunch of files and do something to each one of them, for example, rename them, or even communicate with other computers over the internet. The structure of a simple program is made up of, do this. If this condition is true, do this, else, do that. Do this, that number of times. While that condition is true, do this. These instructions can be combined systematically to write complex programs. They serve as the backbone of most of the software we use in our daily lives today, from the social media platforms to the games we play, and the softwares we use at work. But then, these instructions you just saw are in English, or should I say, natural language. And computers, as we all know, speak zeros and ones. This is where we need a programming language, so we can get to talk to the computer and get it to do our bidding. It's that simple. If you want to communicate with someone, learn their language. A programming language is a set of reserved words and rules, which are used in a computer program to give instructions to the computer, to perform specific tasks. Low-level programming languages like machine language and assembly language are much closer to the hardware of the computer. High-level programming languages like Python, Java, JavaScript, C, C++, and C# are however much more closer to the programmer. Programs written in these will have to be converted into either machine language or assembly language, using an interpreter or a compiler, for the computer to understand and execute the program. What then is the Python programming language? Python is a high-level, interpreted programming language invented by Guido van Rossum. Python has grown to become one of the most popular programming languages today. And it is the most preferred choice for most beginners. Python is open-sourced and free to use. Anyone could use Python. Simple. There's a big community of Python programmers out there. This makes it a walk in the park when you need to find resources. Python is notable for its effective use of white spaces to make its code readable. Python is that simple and easy to learn, read, and write. Python is object-oriented and it is extensible. It is portable and can run on popular platforms like Windows, Linux and Mac OS. Python is a general-purpose programming language and it is used in automation, AI, system administration, data science and data analysis, testing, web scraping, graphical user interface development and web development. Popular applications like Instagram, Dropbox, and YouTube are driven by Python. And in this series, we are going from zero to hero in Python programming. All you need is just an Android smartphone. It's that simple. So buckle up. Basically, all you need to write valid Python code is a text editor. When I'm programming on my PC, I use PyCharm to write code and run it. There are a couple of alternatives to PyCharm, like Visual Studio Code, Eclipse, Spider, Sublime Text, Vim, Atom, and even the Python idle itself. But perhaps, you don't have a laptop, because they are very expensive, or you just prefer a smartphone over a laptop, and you still want to learn how to program. Well then, there's no need to worry, this series is for you. You just found the needle in the haystack. You could also follow the series if you want to program on your laptop or your desktop, as whatever we will be talking about here can be applied on either your PC or on your Android smartphone. On Android, there are a couple of good text editors on Play Store. I have ES Explorer installed on my smartphone and it comes with a very nice looking text editor. I can use it to write valid Python code. and save it in a file. Say, hello. For it to be recognized as a Python script, I have to save it with the .py extension. So, the file will be saved as hello.py. I created a new folder called Python scripts, where I can save all my scripts. Unfortunately, I can't run it now because I'll need a Python interpreter to do so. So let's see how I can run this Python code I just wrote on my phone. There are many ways you could probably run Python code on an Android smartphone, some online and some offline. Websites like Trinket.io, Programize.com, and PythonAnywhere.com's IPython can be used to run Python code over the internet. But I'll pick Pydroid 3 over any other option for this one. Alternatives could be QPython 3 and Decoder. Unlike Pydroid 3 and QPython 3, Decoder is not Python specific, and needs an internet connection to be able to run Python code. I think Pydroid 3 will best suit our needs, and I'll show you why. To a developer, Pydroid 3 is definitely one of the best apps on the Google Play Store. It's easy to download, so quickly head onto the Play Store on your Android smartphone now and search for Pydroid 3, and install it. Be sure you are installing Pydroid 3 and not Pydroid, as there are two versions available for both versions of Python, Python 2, and Python 3. We will be using Python 3 in this series, so make sure to download Pydroid 3. After downloading it, run it to install Python on your device. Okay, with that done, let's cross over to the Android device and check it out. Okay, so now we have the Pydroid 3 application up and running, and this is what it looks like. It has this little orange floating button at the bottom right corner of the screen here. This is the Run button. We will use it to quickly run our code. It also has a blue button bar at the bottom of the screen. The button bar contains most of the punctuations we will be using in our code, like the colon, semicolon, single quote, and a whole lot. Trust me, it will come in handy. Let's see, what more do we have here by clicking on the menu button in the top left corner. Here, we have the name of our current file on top. We didn't save or load this file, so it's just new. Just beneath it, we can see the current cursor position. Our current cursor position is at line 1, and its offset is 0. This is actually the free version of the app. I guess I forgot to mention that because the free version in itself is quite an impressive application. The premium comes with some additional features like premium libraries, code prediction and analysis, and is also ad-free. It'll cost you less than $10 to upgrade to the premium version, or you could subscribe at less than $1 per month. Small money for such a big tool, that's money well spent if you ask me. Pydroid 3 has a Python interpreter. This is used to execute Python code. It opens up in the interactive mode. There are two types of modes you could code in. One is the interactive mode, as I just mentioned, and the other is the script mode. With the interactive mode, you get to see the output of your code, if there's any, as you write. Whatever you'll write cannot be saved to a file, so you lose your work when you leave the interpreter. So for this series, we are going to be using the script mode more often. In the script mode, we get to write the code first in the editor, save it, and then run it. Pydroid 3 also has a terminal. This is where all our code is going to run. There are a lot of things you could use a terminal for, and we will explore some of them as we go further in this series. An example would be to write some commands. Cal displays the calendar of the current month, and date displays the current date and time. You can go into the interactive mode from the terminal by typing Python and press enter. If you need to install more libraries from pypi.org, there's pip right here for that. The application also gives you an option to share your code and also upload it to Pastebin. There are some example codes here in samples you could also play around with. In the settings menu, you'll be able to edit the features of the editor, and edit the appearance of the editor. You can add more symbols to the button bar by going to the editor settings and choosing bar buttons. You can then add the buttons you think you'll need. Note that they have to be separated by commas. No, sorry about that. They'll have to be separated by spaces. You can also change the order of the buttons here. The terminal can be made to look just the way you like it by navigating to the terminal settings. I'll recommend you fine-tune the appearance of the terminal and editor to suit your eye. So let me go ahead and do that myself. Now everything is just as I want it. Now, let's go open the Python file we created earlier on. Let's open it here on Pydroid 3. Oops, this is not where I want to be. Okay, finally, there it is, hello.py. This is undoubtedly a very simple Python code. With just one line of code, it only prints hello world onto the terminal if you run it. Very soon, you'll learn how to write programs that will span up to hundreds or thousands of lines. So let's hit run and see what's next. There you have it, we just successfully run our first Python program. We gave the computer, in this case our Android device, a command, and it obeyed. Congratulations, you are now a programmer. I know this is just a simple program with a not so interesting output, But look on the brighter side. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step, and you have taken that step. I'll see you on the other side. Let me try to keep things simple and brief here, so as to not bore you with too much talk. Although the Python programming language has relatively fewer words in its dictionary than in a natural language, say French or Spanish, it entails a lot. For example, when speaking English, you could make an error or even a bunch of errors, like break some grammatical rules, abuse the grammar a little bit, but the person you are speaking to would still comprehend what you are saying and just ignore those errors, even if they are so obvious. With programming, that's not the case. Computers are, for want of a better word, quite strict. If you break the rules of the programming language or speak out of its diction, the computer raises the red flag. It definitely won't be able to do whatever you are asking it to do, or in some cases, it might even give you an undesired output because it just can't understand what you are saying. It takes a lot of practice to become fluent when speaking to computers. There's much to be done in Python, therefore there's much to do here in this series. I will definitely try my best to do as much as I can, but you will need to do more on your own too if you really want to go far. You will need to read books on Python too. Automate the boring stuff with Python. Learning Python and dive into Python 3 are very good places to start from. I'll recommend you get copies for yourselves. What I want to do in this series is to break things down into 3 phases: beginner, intermediate, and advance. For the beginner phase, we will look at some of the core concepts of the Python programming language. After this phase, you should be able to make a simple WhatsApp status saver that runs in the terminal, and will save every viewed WhatsApp status in our phone. We will then transition into the intermediate phase, where we will build on what we learned, make our WhatsApp status saver program better, do a couple of other projects, and a whole lot. Now, in the advance phase, we will be looking at some of the third-party libraries and use them to build programs. Pygame and Kiavi are just some of the libraries we will be working with. We will also make our WhatsApp status saver program a graphical user interface program so that we can be able to select some specific files which we want to save. We will try our hands on some Git too for version control. Don't let it bother you if you don't know what Git is yet. We will be doing all this in this series, and I'll try to do everything on the Android platform, at least, until I can know more. I guess this promises to be interesting, don't you? Let's look at some of the exciting projects we will be trying our hands on in the course of this series. A fully functional WhatsApp status saver. We will have some graphical fun with the turtle module. A simple password vault. Say you are a teacher who really does not like it when your students cheat. So, you want to be able to dynamically give each student the same questions, but in a different order, hoping that might prevent the students from cheating. What do you do? In this series, we will look at how to make a question jammer program. We will also make a password and email verification program using regular expressions. Game development with Pygame. We all know how PDF documents are so hard to edit, like, you can't easily organize the pages. Well, in this series, we are going to learn how to easily work with PDF documents and Word documents. You would agree with me if I say zipping files is quite an effective way to store and probably transfer files, so in this series, we will make a file zipper and unzipper program. We will also look at some image manipulation techniques, probably dip a toe into machine learning, and a whole lot. Not to mention the mini projects we will encounter in every tutorial. This series is going to be fun-packed, or should I say, it's going to be lit. Your imagination is your only limitation. Each video in this series will be 45 minutes long, or probably around that duration, so you don't see it as too much to do. I'll also try to answer some of the frequently asked questions after each video, but if you do have a question that doesn't get answered by me, you can leave it in the comment section below. I'll be sure to respond to you so we can figure it out together. Before we draw the curtains on this video, I would like to tell you one thing, and it is, I assure you that the series is really worth your time. What, you don't trust me? Fine, try it then. Proof of the pudding is in the eating, isn't that what they say? So, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and also hit on the bell icon, so you don't get to miss any of the upcoming videos. Don't be left out. Step into the future with us. The future is how we make it now.